Mining job hunt video. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today we're going to do a job collection video for the sponsors mining jobs to apply for page, which is all the jobs that we think you should be applying for from around the country if you do one of the sponsors' DIY training package or their work ready package. But before we jump over to Seek, I just want to come over to this video on entry-level job opportunities and career progression and just say thanks for Dylan for getting in contact with me about getting a job. He got a job with Aries through the training package and he's been nippering for 6 months now. I also want to say congratulations to Danny, who did our work ready package a little while ago, and he's just sent me a lovely text letting me know that he's got a couple of jobs in Kalgoorlie, and I will be putting up that text directly. But congratulations to both people. It just shows you that if you give the employer what they want, then you're going to get a job and you're going to be able to make it to that 6 month mark and make a career out of it. So well done. All right, so let's jump over to Seek and type underground in and have a look. So this is a full crew ad again, and they're looking for everybody, which means that they will need to be hiring people for the nipper and truck roles, just purely because there isn't enough people around with experience. So it's all about showing them that you know how their mine works so they can throw you in the deep end. But yeah, they'll want experienced people, but there won't be many around. That's coal, so it's Pit and Portal. And, you know, like any other big contractor, Pit and Portal will be the same. They'll want experienced people, but they'll be forced to take new starters and train them up. So if you can show them you know how the mine works, you've got something to offer them. So underground truck with McMahon's again. And I've already done a video on how they word some of these ads so they can have a bit of a gamble each way. Sometimes they use preferred, just to say that they're happy to take inexperienced people. So let's have a look at this ad to see if they can get what I am going on. Requirements, self-motivated. See, they're not even in this one. They're not even looking for anybody with experience, probably because it's Kalgoorlie and Northern Star. They're just looking straight for entry level because they know that they're just not going to get anybody. So it's one of those things that if you want to jump into the industry, sometimes you got to think about relocating. I'm going to talk about the medical in this video, but a bit later when we have a look around. Construction crew, that was the one that I wanted to grab as well. So McMahon's look like they are expanding their operations into building stuff underground for people. So like if they want a workshop installed underground or a crusher or whatever it is that you want underground, then you get a construction crew in to do it. So you get a few trades, but you get a lot of experienced underground people as well from like service crew roles into that sort of stuff. But they'll be taking new starters for that again because they won't have enough people, so they'll have to make up the ranks with new starters. It's nipper and truck jobs for Charlottes Towers. Entry-level driller offsider. Surface and underground, they're always up, those ads. Okay, page 1 down. Agi drivers in Broken Hill. That's a common ad. Charge up, service crew. Underground labourers, so they're looking for crew, and this is in Victoria, so They're looking to ramp up their gold sector in Victoria. And when I show you what the gold price is like today, you'll see why. Service crew, shift boss. Shift boss. Charger. Cable bolt. Tele-remote. Africa. So they're looking for people overseas. Even service crew leading hands now. They're wanting to go overseas. So lots of opportunity around if you've been in it for any length of time. Long haul driller Africa. Cable bolt operator. Agi Operators, pry bar. So if you've got some Agi experience and you want to turn that into a job, then I suggest you have a look at the Sponsors DIY training package, because your Agi experience is really good. It'll hold you in good stead for doing the job. You just got to get your head around how the mine works. And that can be, pretty hard for a lot of people, especially depending on where you get dumped in and, who's supposedly, going to be your buddy and train you up. Because some of these people that get shoved into these buddy roles, they're not always the best communicators, unfortunately. So the more you know before you go for your own personal safety and career progression, the better. The company tries to do everything they can to train you. All the companies do. They're mad not to. But it is what it is at the moment. There's lots of entry-level jobs, and there's lots of people moving around in the top jobs as well. And whenever you get a lot of movement in the top jobs, unfortunately, you do get people fall between the cracks, and it's just what happens, unfortunately. Foreman, pry bar, another Agi job. That's the thing that you really got to get your head around, is how the mine works, because you're not going to the same place. You're following the sprayer around who is following everybody else around, so you'll be all over the mine. So the quicker you can get yourself up to speed with what everybody does and how it all works, the easier it'll become for you, and the quicker you'll find your legs. And like I said, the Sponsors DIY training package is the best way to go with that one. So this is Aries. They advertised on our Facebook page as well for this job, which was great, much appreciated. I know a few people will have applied for that. Shotcrete batch operator, Agi driver. So we had a lot of truck driving jobs on page 1, and now we seem to be cleaning up the rest of the Agi driving, and another truck driving job from Aries on this page, which was unusual, but it was good to find. So grader operator, evolution. And again, if you've got grader operator experience and you want to take those skills underground, the DIY package is the best way to go. Bring your mining knowledge up to speed. If you can talk to them about how it all works, that's what gets you over the line. And it helps when you get to site too, so much, to know what's going on around you. Makes it so much easier to get up and start running, because I tell people that when you go in green, most people go in splat, and it's those that pick themselves up off the ground and start running are the ones that make it. When you go in with your mining knowledge up to speed, you don't go in splat. You go in walking. You know what's going on. You can follow the morning meeting from day one. If someone says something to you, you can understand it all. That's what you're after. Old mining tradesperson, multiple roles. Mine assistant Glencore. Let's have a look and see what this brings today. Immunizer, what do they want for? George Fisher. The role. Well, they've got some funny names on some of these jobs that they do for Glencore. But that looks like a deputy shift boss role that they look like they want there. Drillers, electrical trade, principal. So anyway, I will start talking about medicals because we've been going for a little while now. And the big thing with the medicals is with all the hard rock stuff around the country, the employers they have to pay for it. So it's a bit different in Queensland. They've got a few different laws, but over here in WA and around the rest of the country, it's one caliber engineering. They're looking for. Yep, they're looking for nippers and all that sort of stuff. Installation of ground support. Yep. And underground, yep, cool. And they have taken people from us before, which is good. But anyway, like I was saying with the medicals, most of the employers, they all have to pay for it. Some of them that you're going through, depending on where they are, sometimes they might ask you to pay for it up front, and then they'll reimburse you for the cost of the medical in 6 or 12 weeks, as long as you're still employed. Some of those employers do that because they've just been through so many people. But the majority of employers that we deal with, they all pay for the medical themselves. So first rule of thumb is that if someone's asking you to go on a medical that's going to cost between $800 and $1,200, nobody's going to spend that sort of money if they aren't seriously thinking about hiring you. So it's not a direct, yes, you're going to get hired thing, but it is you're in a really good place for it all to happen. And like I often tell people, it is yours to stuff up from there. So the big thing with medicals that you've got to understand is that the doctors that do them, they're not your GP, okay? So when you get in there, if you treat them like they're your GP, then chances are that you're going to fail the medical, because the way they work is that the more people they see, the more money that they make. So they want to be in and out in 5 minutes flat. So that's why you don't spend a lot of time with them, really, and you spend a lot of time doing a lot of other things when you do these medicals, because when they're seeing, the more people they see, the more money they make. It's like anything else. And if you all of a sudden take 15 or 20 minutes in the session that you've got in there with them, then all of a sudden you'll probably end up failing the medical. Now, they are treating you like a bit of cattle, so it's up to you how much you disclose to them. But it is like anything else. If you're fit and healthy and you've got nothing majorly wrong with you, then you should just sail through the interview. If you've got some major things that you've got wrong, but they're all treatable and controlled and all that sort of stuff, then that's fine to list those things as well. All the employers, they just want to know that if you've got anything wrong with you, that you know about it and it's being treated and it's in control. So sometimes, especially if you suffer from depression or you're on medication for that, or other things, that are diabetes or whatever, sometimes they'll get you to do a letter from your doctor saying how long you've been like that and you've been treated for it and it's all under control and all that sort of stuff. We've had people that have had that happen to them in medicals before, and they've done that and everything's gone through fine. You just got to be walking fit for the medicals. They are going to get you to do a physical component, so they'll get you to plank for a little while. They might get you to march up and down some boxes and all that sort of stuff, grip tests, that sort of thing. They're trying to make sure that you're going to be able to stand up to the job. It's nothing over the top. But it is a standard medical. So that's why I tell people that you need to be walking fit to do these jobs. So if you're not walking fit, then maybe get yourself walking fit and then start applying for the jobs. But yeah, there's not a lot to it. They'll get you to do a drug and alcohol test. They'll, take you through the colour blindness and all that sort of stuff, and you'll do hearing, and a lot of places do a lung function test, and they might even do an x-ray for that, just to make sure. And if you do a miner's health surveillance in WA here, they get you to do one every 5 years, and that's the employer's responsibility too, to help you make sure that gets done. So interesting. So we'll put that into the mill jobs. But medical's a part of life with mining, and we've got a lot of people that end up getting offered multiple jobs, so they have to go and do multiple medicals, and that's all good. You just go along and do your medicals, and the companies are paying, so it's not an issue. It's just they do take normally between 2 and 3 hours to do, so sometimes, you know, it can be an issue from the fact that you've got to take some time off from your current job, or you've got to fit it in around that. Underground mine geologist. So we'll go for another couple of pages. Ventilation engineer. Pit portal. Production mining. Okay, so I think we'll call it quits there. So let's have a look at our prices. So gold's 27.43 an ounce. You've got copper at still over 13,144 a tonne. You got nickel at 36,000 or over 36,000 a tonne Australian. These are all in Australian prices. Aluminium, zinc still up over $4,500 Australian a tonne, which is really, really good. Makes it easy. And then if we come over here to the coal price, it's at $131 a tonne US, which still makes it around that $200 mark Australian. But as you can see, it's just come off its highs, and it's just doing another little bounce, and it looks like it's going to go lower. And the whole reason for that is that there's a coal mine next to every coal-fired power station pretty much around the world that they've opened up. And yeah, you might as well run your coal mine if you're going to run your coal-fired power station. It's pretty easy to do that. So let's go and have a look at the map. And this is our map of all the mines around Australia that are producing metals that are going into the batteries that we've been talking about over the last 6 months or more than that now, and it's all our gold mines as well. So as you can see, there's lots of stuff all over the place, and we pretty much loaded up jobs in every state today, maybe except for South Australia, but there have been, Olympic Dam's been running a lot of ads for their mine site up there, and also Burncut has been running a lot of ads for their Oz Mineral sites as well in South Australia lately, so they might have just had the week off. But you've got everything that's up north in Queensland. A lot of that is fly out of Brisbane or Townsville or Cairns. You've also got, if you're up in the Brisbane area, you've got all the stuff that's in the middle of New South Wales that's drive in, drive out. But if you really want a job, then Perth or Kalgoorlie, definitely Kalgoorlie's the place to be. Like you'll read in Danny's text when I load it up, he's just headed straight to Kalgoorlie, and he's already got a couple of jobs over there. And yeah, it's decided, I think, to go with Northern Star, which is probably a good way to go, considering that they own most of the mines around Kalgoorlie. But anyway, so that's where the jobs are around the country. So if you've got any more questions that you want answered about the industry, please send them through. And yeah, we've gone over 5,000 subscribers too, which is great. So yeah, really happy about that. And if you could share the video around and like and subscribe the channel, that would be wonderful. Thanks.